bright sunny day outside, but my kids are outside, so we're practicing inside. It's a flow class today. You can start on your back. Make yourself comfortable. Once you're settled, close your eyes. When you're ready, close your lips as well. Take the next minute or so to just listen to your breathing. Pay attention to your breathing. As you follow your breath, let your face relax. All of the muscles around your jaw, the muscles across your forehead, around your eyes. Relax any tension in your neck. Let your shoulders sink into the ground. Let the muscles in your belly relax. Let your hips feel heavy on the ground. Once your breathing is a bit slower, try to deepen your breath, maybe placing your hands on your belly or at the bottom of your rib cage, and try to breathe into that space as you inhale. As you exhale, take your time, breathe out through your nose. Feel your rib cage and your belly shrink back down. Keep thinking of relaxing your neck and your shoulders as you breathe. And after your next breath, let your breathing come back to a normal rhythm. You can move your fingers and your toes around. And start to draw your knees in towards your chest. Move from side to side a few times. Then slowly roll to your left side. Use your hands to push yourself up. Come to your hands and knees. Spread out your fingers. Separate your knees. Look between your hands and tuck your tailbone under slowly. Feel your spine round as your shoulders push towards the ceiling. Your head can drop down. And then take a long inhale as your tailbone lifts, your back arches, and your head lifts. Tuck your tailbone as you breathe out. Round your spine slowly, let your head relax. Inhale as your tailbone lifts, your back arches, and the head lifts. You can keep going at your own pace with your breath. Try to maintain a breath through your nose if you can. And come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under and sit back on your heels or maybe at a high kneel. Then reach your arms straight out, point your fingers forward, spread the fingers out wide, and then reach your fingers up and back. And point the fingers forward again. Once more, reach the fingers up and back. Try to spread the fingers out wide. And then let the wrist relax. Give the hands a shake. Move your fingers all around. Then with your left hand, take your right hand, gently pull, and then release. Take your left hand with your right, pull, and release. Good. Come back down to your hands. You can keep your toes tucked and lift up to downward dog. Pedal your feet. You can look back towards your feet and push away from the ground with your whole hand. You can pedal your feet enough that your calves and your ankles begin to warm up a little bit. Walk your feet to your hands. Soften your knees, reach wide and over your head, and then fold back down. You can soften the knees, relax your arms and your neck. Let your shoulders feel heavy. Breathe in through your nose as you lift halfway up. And breathe out as you fold down again. You might take some time to rock back and forth on your feet. Once more, place your hands on your thighs or your shins. Lift your chest, tuck your chin, and then fold back down. Place your fingertips on the ground. just in front of your feet, and step the right foot back into a lunge. You can move around here, and then we'll plant the palms and step back to plank. Breathe in through your nose. And as you breathe out, bring your knees down, lower your chest and belly to the ground, and point your toes as you hug your elbows in and lift your chest to baby cobra. Slowly roll down as you exhale. And again, inhale as you lift your chest. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Exhale as you lower. Then tuck your toes, push back up to your knees, and then lift your hips to downward dog. Take another breath or two to pedal your feet, or just hold a static downward dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Soften your knees, reach wide and overhead. And exhale as you fold. Inhale as you lift and lengthen out the back. Exhale as you fold in. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you fold. Place your fingertips out in front of the feet. Step the left leg back into a lunge. And pause for a second. You can rock on the foot. Hold your lunge and then plant your palms as you step back to plank. Inhale. Lower slowly as you exhale from your toes or your knees. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale to the ground. Again, inhale, lift just your chest, your head, and exhale as you lower. Tuck your toes, push straight back up to plank or to your knees, and then to downward dog. Bring your big toes together in your downward dog. Lift your right leg up to the height of your hip. Slowly bring your shoulders over your wrists and then draw the knee up into the chest. Squeeze the knee up even higher and then step the right foot between the hands. Soften your back knee and push off the ground. So you're balancing here in airplane or modified warrior 3. You can keep a slight bend in your right knee and reach back through the fingertips. Feel your breathing becoming slow and steady. And take your time as you circle your arms overhead and lift the left knee up. And then circle your arms back again as you kick the left leg back. We'll do that a couple more times. Reach your arms overhead slowly, lift the left knee up. And with control, circle your arms, kick your left leg back. Last time, circle your arms over your head, reach through the fingers, and then kick the left leg back. And slowly step the left foot to the mat, return to a low lunge, and step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale to the ground. Tuck your toes, push back up, and lift your hips, downward dog. Step your big toes together. Lift the left leg up, really no higher than your hip. And then bring your shoulders forward, your knee forward and up. You can come up high on the back toes to help lift. And then step the left foot forward. Soften your back knee so you can push off the ground and lift your chest. Good. Sometimes this balance can feel a little easier with a softness to your left knee so it's not completely straight. And begin to slowly reach your arms up. Lift your right knee up to your chest. And then circle the arms back again and kick your right leg back. And circle your arms up, lift your right knee. And then kick your right leg back. Reach your arms back. One last time, circle your arms, lift your right knee. And then kick back, reach back. And slowly step the right foot to the ground, bring your hands to the ground, and step back to plank. Inhale, lower as you exhale. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to the ground. Tuck your toes, push back up to your knees or plank, and then downward dog. After your next breath, let your knees come down to the ground. Bring your hands under your shoulders. And then kickstand your right toes off to the side. Straighten out your left leg. And reach the left arm to the ceiling in a modified side plank. You can stay here if this feels challenging for your right arm. You can also lift your right leg and straighten it out. Come into a full side plank with one foot in front of the other or one foot stacked on the other. And whichever side plank you've chosen, take your left arm and reach right alongside your left ear. And then try to keep the rest of your body really steady as you rotate your left palm away from you and make a big circle back, down, in front of the body, and continue to circle. And change the direction of your circles. Come back to a side plank, arms stacked. If your right knee was lifted, let it come back down to the ground. And then lift your left leg up to about the height of your hip. And lower your left toes to the ground and lift again. Lower your toes and lift. Lower your toes. Lift and hold here. And slowly bend your left knee. Reach back with your left hand. release your leg, lower your toes, and turn towards the ground in a tabletop position. Sit back towards your heels, give your hands a little shake, move your fingers around, and then come back to tabletop position. This time kickstand your left toes to the side, straighten your right leg and reach your right arm towards the ceiling. Stay here or come into a full side plank. And when you're ready, take your right arm right alongside your ear. Rotate your right palm out and make a big circle back, down, in front of the body, and keep going. These do not have to be fast circles. It will be harder to keep your balance if you start swinging your arm all around. And then reverse the circles. Good. Come back to side plank. Lower the left knee if it was lifted, and lift the right leg up to about the height of your hip. And then bring the right toes to the ground, lift up. Lower the right toes and lift. Lower the toes and once more lift your right leg and hold. Bend your right knee, reach back. If you can grab the foot, you can pull it in. And slowly release your foot. Lower your right toes and then return to a tabletop position. You can tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. Bring your knees to the ground. Lower your chest to the ground. And then place your hands roughly under your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in and make just a bit of space between the feet. Push the tops of your feet into the ground as well as the front of your hips, the bony parts of your hip bones. And as your feet push down and your hips push down, keep drawing the elbows in, the shoulders back and down, and look towards the ground. Just for a second, hover your hands and feel how your shoulders are pulling back and down, the elbows are in, and the hips and feet are still pushing into the ground. Now bring your hands back down and try to keep all of those same actions going as you pull the hands back, lift the chest up. Maybe you stay here, this feels like enough for your back. If you want to go a little bit further, keep pushing the tops of the feet down. Draw the hands back and push up until your hips lift off the ground. You're pushing away from the ground to make space around your shoulders and your ears. And then with control, start to lower your chest back down, lower your hips, and you can rest for a second, maybe rocking your hips from side to side. Good. Once more, place your hands under your shoulders, Tuck your elbows in. Feel the tops of your feet and the front of your hips push into the ground. Draw the shoulders back and down. Hover your hands for a second. Feel how all the muscles on the back of your body are working. And gently place your hands down. Feel like you're pulling back on the ground as your chest begins to lift. And maybe you come a little bit higher, pushing away from the ground. Slight pulling back action still. And gaze forward. If you're all the way up at the top of this upward facing dog pose, the only things on the ground are the tops of your feet and your palms. You can slowly begin to lower, rest, place your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up to your knees, and then gently sit back in child's pose. Relax your neck. And lift your head away from the ground. Bring your hips up and your hands under your shoulders, tabletop position. And take your left hand, cross it over your chest. So your left hand is resting on your right shoulder. And then very slowly start to turn your chest to the left. Turn your gaze to the left. And then turn back down towards the ground. Your chest and your head look down. Do that a few more times. So let your chest slowly turn to the left. Your gaze turns to the left. And then turn back down towards the ground. So as you do that a couple more times, focus on moving through your upper back. So it's really just your chest that's turning, your hips aren't moving. One more time, let your chest rotate to the left. And then let your chest rotate down. And then from here, let your chest start to rotate to the right. Reach your left arm behind your right arm. And let the left shoulder come to the ground. Your temple can rest on the ground, but there's a lot more weight in your shoulder than there is in your head and your neck. This might be where you stay, especially if you want to have more support from your right hand. You can also reach your right arm straight out. I want to say where the top of your mat is, but I guess the top of your space. And then turn your head to look under your right arm. Slide your right hand back if it was extended, and slowly push yourself up to a tabletop position. This time cross your right arm over. Begin to slowly rotate your chest to the right. Turn your gaze to the right. And then rotate the chest back down, look down. We'll do that another 3 or 4 times. Go really slowly, feel the rotation as it happens through your upper back. This might be an area of the spine that feels limited. Once more, let your chest rotate to the right, turn your gaze. And then turn to face the ground, and this time let your chest start to rotate to the left. Reach your right arm behind your left, stretch your fingertips all the way to the side, bring your right shoulder to the ground. Let your temple rest on the ground. You have the option to reach the left arm forward. Slide your left hand back. Slowly push yourself up. And then sit back towards your heels. Bring your legs in front of you. And lie down. You can hug your knees to your chest if you'd like, and rock from side to side. And let your feet come to the ground. Relax your arms on the ground. You can keep your knees bent or straighten the legs out. And take the feet apart. As you close your eyes, relax your arms and your legs. Relax all the muscles in your face and your neck. Let your belly feel soft and relaxed. Pay attention to the sound of your breath or the sounds around you. Try to breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Start to move your fingers and wiggle your toes. One leg at a time, bend your knees. Roll to your right side and rest there. You can cradle your head in your right arm. With your eyes closed, push yourself up. Sit comfortably. You can rest your hands on your legs. Relax your shoulders. Stretch the crown of your head up. Notice if you're breathing through your mouth or your nose. Try to soften your belly and let your breath flow through your nose. Lower your chin towards your chest until you feel a stretch at the back of your neck. Gradually open your eyes. And lift your head up. Finished.